Good morning. Today's the day. We're going to a field today. I hear a tractor running out here already. I was going to come and get the field cultivator hooked up and ready to go, but somebody's already on it, so let's help them and get this thing out of here. He's all hooked up and ready to go. If I was driving this, I'd probably get something to do something about the bug poop right in my line of view from the back window, but that's okay. I made sure, oh, look at that. He did. I got his computer, made sure everything is all set up right there. I think everything is good to go, and Dad's gonna take off with it. All right, so he's gonna take off. My concrete guys are, so I'm gonna go down there and check in with them. And we're gonna get a seed tender out and ready. And, well, it's ready to go. We're gonna put seed on it. And then we gotta load up our tender truck because these fields are a long ways away and we can't take it all with us, and I'd really prefer to go down there empty if I can, so we'll see what we can get on the tender truck. And we gotta get the planter out, which I believe is ready to go. But we'll see if there's anything we need to do to that before we take off out of here. The tillage needs a good head start on the planter anyway, so if I can be down there by, say, 1 o'clock, noon, to get started planting, I would be pretty happy. So we've got all morning here to mess around with getting everything ready to go, so I'm not in a big hurry. But we do have to keep things moving. We should have a really good first day, assuming we don't have any major breakdowns like we did on our first day last year. But I do know my fertilizer pump is good. We've already tested that stuff, so let's go. Oh yeah, boys, let's go farming. Come on, door, open faster. I want to go farming faster. All right, we just got to pull the 8RX out of the way here right now. We're after this seed tender for the moment. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. Okay, it's gonna be a good day. She did. Let's go get the jump pack. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. It's okay. We're gonna be okay. Old no code did it. Somebody's gonna tell me I shouldn't use a jump pack on a tractor or something with a display in it. They're probably right. I did it anyway, and it worked. So while we're in this tractor and we could stand to let it run for a few minutes, I need to do a TCM calibration because we just put that GPS receiver on the planter and whatever. It's something you got to do. I would like to do that before we hook up our tank. We're pulling behind, so we're just gonna go out here in this chiseled ground, which isn't ideal, but it should be okay. For no more than what I'm planning on doing here, it should be okay. But basically, we got to unfold the planter, put it in the ground, get an auto steer line, drive for, I don't know, 200 feet, 500 feet, whatever it is. Pick it up, turn around, get right back on that same line, put the planter down, and drive it again. And it calibrates our TCM, which is a terrain compensation module, part of the GPS receiver that senses how the planter, the tractor is rolling, and if you're on the side of a hill or something like that. So we're going to do our auto track or advanced TCM calibration here. So we're going to go into our menu, applications, go down to Starfire. I had to look this up because I couldn't remember. Advanced TCM calibration, and it tells us that this one was last calibrated in 5/16 of 25. Starfire 7000 NA because that's the one on the planter that we just put on there. So we're going to hit begin calibration. Auto track is enabled. Position machine in the field. Space out in front. Okay. Oh, now we got to set a heading. Alright, fine. Set point A and a heading to create calibration. Set point A, our heading, we're just going to put 0 in because that's straight north. Done. Ooh. Well, it thinks we're crooked. I don't know. Machine needs to track from point A to point B and turn around, then track from point B to point A. Do not exceed 4 miles per hour. Press resume switch and slowly track online to point B. Resume. We're going to put our planter in the ground. I had that and then I lifted it up. Go back. Okay. We're engaged. Speed up a little bit. Planter's freaking out because it thinks it's supposed to be planting, and it's not. Okay, so point A is right here, so we're going to hit that and just keep going. Yes, I know they're not planting near their target rate. Oh, probably some of them are. We're probably putting corn in the ground. Dang it. No, we're not. I don't have any. Oh, I do have vacuums on and an EPG on. Yeah, some of them are planting. Oops. Because I had seed into meters from the test that we ran the other day. We're not supposed to be planting, but we are. I turned the vacuums on because I'm trying to warm up the hydraulic oil to do some other tests. Same with EPG. I was running some fertilizer through some stuff. So yeah, we planted a little corn in the ground there. It's all right. The field cultivator will rearrange it for us. It's fine. Yeah. Okay, we're almost point B here. I hate these stupid warnings. Alright, turn around, auto track from point B to point A at the same speed and something. So we're just going to leave it in the same speed. And then we're going to turn around. We're going to make a big turn here. Get back on our line. Hit the resume button. Oh yeah, look, we got a coverage map. Whoops. It's okay. It isn't hurting anything. Okay, successful. The auto steer all of a sudden just kicked out, and I thought something messed up, but it just got done, and then it kicked it off. So, all right, so that is done. Now, how's our hydraulic oil? Machine monitor. Are we up to 120? We're not. We're up to 90. I'm trying to get the oil up to 120 degrees so that we can run some air purge and some tests with our down pressure system, but it says that the oil has to be up to 120 degrees, so that's what we're waiting for. I'm still waiting for hydraulic oil to warm up, so I came back up here to talk to Xander. He's going to go down to the field where Dad's at and start riding with him. Oh, look, we got a concrete truck already. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Those guys are getting after it today. That's good. We'll go down and check on it in a little bit, but I got to get this planter done first. I'm going to go get the seed tender hooked up while we wait for this to warm up some more. There's the seed tender. This should be all ready to go. We've already been through this, so Phil's getting the tractor hooked up to the bean planter in there. We don't have anywhere we can go plant beans just yet, but maybe we'll look around later today again. No, why is it dead? Really? Okay, find somewhere to put the battery charger on it. I think that might actually be out here. Okay, battery's charging on the seed tender. Let's check in on our hydraulic oil progress over here, see if we're up to 120 degrees yet. Once again, we're putting hours on a tractor, not doing anything productive, depreciating the heck out of it, just to run a test. I'm convinced Deere does this on purpose to rack up hours on new equipment. Up to 113, 115. Half the hours on new equipment is sitting there running diagnostics and tests, not actually doing any work, just in case you were wondering. If I drive around this field, it'll accomplish two things. One, it'll raise our hydraulic oil temperature because I'm cycling it through and actually using it a little bit more than just running it through the vac fans. And two, it'll make all my neighbors super nervous. Like, what is he doing? Why is he out there? They're not going to work that ground? They're just going to plant it? All kinds of things. The neighborhood is already buzzing because I have been out here in this field. So, yeah, we'll just drive around a little bit. Okay. Well, that didn't work. The temperature is going down. How am I supposed to get the hydraulic oil up to 120 degrees, John Deere? How am I supposed to do that? I've got everything running, I'm driving it around, and the temperature's going down. It's probably because it's 50 degrees outside. Maybe we have to do this once we get to the field after some road time. That should do it, right? Alright, well, whatever. Well, I was able to go through that air purge test and successfully complete it, but the accumulator test won't run. Pressure is wrong, but it doesn't tell me what the pressure is supposed to be, high or low, and our oil temp is down to like 104 degrees, so we're going the wrong way, so we're gonna have to call it for that one. We need to get our tank hooked up, so I think we'll try that, and then I'm gonna run down there and just look at the concrete stuff. We'll get some seed on the tender, and then we gotta figure out fertilizer. I'm gonna get the forklift to help make that connection. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Much easier with forklift. All right, that should be all hooked up and good to go. Ready for fertilizer. Sweet. Let's go put this forklift away. Actually, let's go get our seed out, put it on the tender. I need to go print off my sheets with all the varieties and fields and everything on it, so I know what goes where. I was looking at these last night though, and a little counterintuitive given the fact that I have a whole bunch of full season corn sitting here. But we're putting a 108 and 106 day in this group of fields where we're going now. And I thought about changing that, but I don't really want to do that. So these fields that we're going to here, that are the ones that are dry, they're about 10 miles to the south and west of us. The elevator where we haul a lot of our grain to is 15 miles to the south and the west of us. So it makes a lot of sense for us to just take stuff straight there from the field in the fall, rather than trucking it back here 10 miles to dry it and then take it back to the elevator. We'll do that if we have to. But I usually try and plant a little bit earlier corn down there so that it's at least somewhat dry so we can take it straight to the elevator. So while I do want to get my full season stuff planted, especially given how late it is starting to get, I don't want to do that at the expense of having somewhat dry grain this fall. So we're going to stick to the plan for now. When we get back around here, if we can keep going tomorrow or the next day, maybe we'll call some audibles depending on what fields are ready and what varieties are going where. But that's today's plan. Okay. I was helping Phil get some stuff set up on the GPS monitor. When I switched the monitors from the bean planter to the sprayer to this tractor, and from this tractor to the sprayer, all of our layout manager stuff wasn't right, so we had to set all that up again. Plus we added that GPS receiver, so we had to do some measurements for where that's at. In the meantime, Dad called me. They got a flat tire on the field cultivator, so sounds like they've got some issues. Hopefully, we should have a spare tire. Hopefully, they can get it fixed and keep rolling. Okay, well, they had all kinds of tire trouble. He said they got one that the tread's coming off, delaminating. They got another one that's totally flat, another one that was really low in pressure. So we did check all of that stuff, but it has been a little while since we got the field cultivator out and had that gotten ready. So maybe we should have checked them again, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, he took 3 tires with him to go change. So he did, however, say that the first field that they worked up, 32 acres, worked up beautifully, and that it's good to go. So time to get there with the planter. Seed tender is good. The battery started, so we're gonna go ahead and put some seed on it and get this out of the way, and then we'll get our fertilizer tender loaded up. That is ready to go. I even put fuel in it. I should grab a bucket of talc. Don't let me forget to grab a bucket of talc. All right, we're gonna load up our tender truck here. We need 2,500 gallons total of our 2x2 mix. We can't put that much in here. Why isn't that pumping? Oh, it is, but it's going through the Venturi. That's why it's going slow. There, that'll make it go faster. All right, so we're gonna put a bunch on here, but we're gonna have to take a little bit in our tank on our planter. So we're gonna put 300 gallons of our ATS in, and then the appropriate amounts. We're gonna have 1,650 gallons of our 2x2. We need like 1,200 gallons, a little less than 1,200 gallons of our in-furrow mix. That we can put in the front tank, take it all, so we don't have to put any on the planter. Yeah, it's gonna work. Okay, so we've got ATS 1034.0, now we're putting 28 in there. Expensive stuff in that tank. So our blend this year is 11 gallons per acre total. 3 gallons of 1034.0, 2 gallons of ATS, and what's that, 6 gallons of 28. I did, when we were doing this, I did go ahead and suck out about 10 gallons of this Puric Prime, a humic acid that I had left in here. Mostly because I want to get the shuttle empty, because I need to get a zinc tote up here that's going to go in our in-furrow. Alright, we are going to suck through some zinc here real fast. So we're in our in-furrow, we're running 4.5 gallons of a 721-3 product, and I'm going to put in a 1/2 gallon per acre of zinc, this 9% chelated zinc. So, at 220 acres, if we need a 1/2 gallon an acre, that means we need 110 gallons. So we're going to suck her right down using our inductor system here. I made up this fancy valve that I don't know is necessary. I think it's overkill. The idea is that I can hook up my rinse line from here to here, and then we can flush the lines with water. I don't know. Anyway, it's just got a valve, and then we got a T in here that we're sucking through out of here. And we just watch our meter, and when it says 120, we were good. If we can suck 120 gallons of zinc in the time that it takes us to load 1,200 gallons of fertilizer, that's pretty impressive. Now we're up to 45. Sure looks like it's going to do it. We don't even have 400 gallons in there yet. Yeah, so it's, what time is it? Almost noon already, which I'm a little behind where I wanted to be. It's okay though. It's okay. We'll still get a lot done. The tillage was always going to be the hold up today. And with them having flat tires, it's going to hold them up even more. So we'll get down there and get moving, and we'll catch up pretty quick. But we got some first day startup stuff to do. We got to do a lot of digging, make sure that our depth is right, and all of our settings and all that stuff. So it's okay. Once we get this loaded, I can pull it out of the way, and then I think I'll pull the planter up here, and we'll get the fertilizer that we need on the planter to take down there. We need about not quite 1,000 gallons. And then all we got to do is get moved. We're going to get to 600 gallons. That's pretty impressive. Before we put fertilizer in this planter, I decided I better clean my filters out, which wasn't bad. But we also do need to get the water out of the tanks that's up there that we didn't use from testing, so I'll just go ahead and let that run. Another filter up here. How many times am I going to forget I put a valve on the bottom of this tank this year? We're up to 1. A little hard to tell where the liquid level is with it jumping and dancing like that. We need 900 gallons when we're done here. Got my buckets of talc. I went ahead and put a scoop in each track just because this is the first road trip of the year. We're going 10 miles, which is the limit on a trip without stopping, and we haven't had any real dirt in them since we washed stuff, so I just went ahead and stuck a scoop in each one. I think we're ready to go, you guys. Let's go plant some corn. So I'm gonna take the seed tender. I'm gonna stop in, check the concrete project out again, and I need to grab something out of the seed. Oh, I need my iPad out of the seed warehouse. I'm gonna grab that and take that down there. I'm gonna have Phil bring the semi and the fertilizer tender trailer, and then Xander's down there with a pickup. He's gonna bring us both back. I'm gonna take the planter. Well, if the neighbors weren't all riled up already, me driving down the road with the seed tender ought to do it. They're out here. See what it looks like here when we get parked. Well, this looks really good right here. Beautiful. It's a little clumpy where we had a lot of that volunteer wheat. Some of this doesn't look great. Looks better out there. Maybe make another pasture some of this. Backfield looks a lot better. Maybe that's just because I'm farther away. I don't know. But this is definitely plantable. We're back here trying to make sure that we've got everything we need. I loaded the toolbox up with some tools. We need to load the cab up with some snacks. Now let's grab a few things and a bottle of water so that we have something. Let's go farming, boys! Let's go! A lot. Be a long, slow trip over there. We're not going to go over much over 15 miles an hour, so that's the plan. The concrete guys are finishing up. They're done pouring. I just got to finishing, cleaning stuff up, which is awesome. I'm so excited for this project to be done. It's going to be great. I would go up to about 20 miles an hour on the road with the tractor, but one, we're going 10 miles, so it's a long trip, so I want to keep our speed down for that. 20's fine, but also we're pulling 900 gallons of fertilizer behind us. And that's a lot of weight it has to stop and everything else. Now our planter is empty. We've got no seed. We've got no fertilizer on the planter. So that's not putting as much weight on the rear tracks. Plus it's cool out today. You know, it's only 50 degrees out. So we'd probably be okay. But after burning a track off this tractor last year, I think we're just going to take our time. Almost 45 minutes later, we've made it to our fields. Dad got that side done. They jumped across the road over here. Get that knocked down. Looking good. Looking good. We've got to load up seed and in-furrow starter. We don't need any 2x2. We've got enough of that. So we're going to start with those things. And then we're going to plant over here. The goal for the day is to get both sides of the road here planted. We should be able to do that no problem, but we'll see how it goes. It is just after 2 o'clock now. It's going to take us a little time. Not going to go super fast, but we're going to make some progress. We have some seed in the ground here real quick. We do need to look at our turn on, turn off times for the section control. Or just check that once we get some seed in the ground and planted. We'll look at those things. You know, obviously we got to verify our depth, stuff like that. But we know that our pumps work. We know that our meters work because we've tested all of this stuff. So let's do it. Fertilizer going in. Good deal. Ooh, our hose is leaking over there. Our motor's smoking a little bit. We can fix that leak. All right, we are just about got enough fertilizer. We've got plenty of fertilizer. I'm gonna go ahead and just fill the tank because 2 full tanks will do it. Not that that'll matter anyway, probably, but whatever. We'll get some seed put in. We are putting a full box of seed in, half in each hopper. We're gonna use basically these 2 full boxes down here. We should just have a little bit left over when we're done. So. There's 1,830 some pounds in this box, so I put in 920 pounds. They should be half. We'll see how even we do. So far I have forgotten 2 things. 1, a bucket. I usually have a bucket I sit on here for scooping seed back and forth, catching the seed in the bottom of the auger, that kind of stuff. I forgot it. What was the other thing I forgot? I don't remember. Must not have been that important. Oh, water. I don't have any water in my water tank. Again, not that big a deal, but it is nice to be able to wash my hands or rinse them off a little bit when we're done with this stuff. Is that half a box? That looks like more than half a box. Let's see how much goes in the other tank. Stop, start. I think we're off by a good bit. Quite a bit more in here than in here. I think, I wonder if we need to calibrate our scales on there or something, which I wouldn't know how to do, but we can probably try and figure it out. So anyway, we'll plant for a while, and then when we get lower, we can even them up. We're going to start in the back because you never start along the road, which usually we always start along the road, but that's a bad idea. So we'll start in the back. Yeah, we're going to get everything computer-wise set up, which shouldn't be hard. It should pop up as soon as we enter the field. I think we're good, guys. It might take me a minute to get comfortable here, but I will keep you updated as best we can. Got her unfolded, and I set the planter down to start the CCS blower up, and that just blew seed into all our row units, which I can hear move. So now we'll lift the planter back up. Got our vacs running, got our fertilizer pump running. We're gonna hit fill, which rotates all our meters, and it should fill up the bowls and the brush belts. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit it twice, which should spit some seed out. There it is, perfect. So now everything is primed. Okay, we probably have way too much vacuum. We're gonna go ahead and turn that down. That's in the hydraulic frame tractor control, this page. No, not that. We want continuous. We want to change the flow. We'll go down to somewhere in there. This is how we change the oil flow into our vac fans, which changes how much vacuum we're creating. So now our vacuum is at... where'd it go? It's on one of these pages. Thought it was on this page. I don't see it. Maybe it was on, oh, it was on, that's right, Seed Star page, here. So they're not even. I'll play with that as we get going here. Let's make sure all our other setup stuff is right. Pretty sure I gotta open some valves up on my fertilizer stuff. I was gonna run some stuff through those systems to get the water out that we flushed with, but here's time number 2 of forgetting this valve. Okay. We also need this valve open. Okay. We also need this valve open. Wait a minute. That one closed, and then this one open. So I got one fill for both tanks on the planter, and depending on which one I open, this one fills the 300-gallon tank, this one fills the 600-gallon in-furrow 2x2, and then the in-furrow pulls from a different hose and comes over to this pump. The 2x2 actually backfeeds through here and then goes through this T up to that pump for that. So we got to make sure we have this 600-gallon hose closed before we start. Okay, we're doing it. We've got population on everything. We're gonna go just a little bit, let everything kind of settle in, dial in, get some good averages. Make sure we've got, well, turn our fertilizer on, that helps. Solution pump is not dry. Why isn't that working? Because I don't have the pump on, that's why.
The transportation just emailed us. Looks like we got
too close to the turnpike. Okay. All seems to, well, not all seems to be okay. All right, we got, okay. I gotta go, guys. We'll check back later. We weren't getting any seed. We're a little too far out here, too. Our hydraulics were set to time out after 10 seconds, so it quit sending seed to the rows, and then you run out. That'll happen. Okay, let's walk back here a little bit and do a little digging. Get an idea where we're at for depth. See if we need to make any major adjustments. Oh, right there. That's not too bad. Right there. Okay. What's our depth? I always measure to the top of the seed. We're shooting for 2 to 2 1/4 inches. We're pretty close to there. Depends on where you want to measure to. Yeah, I'm okay with that one. All right, we got a lot more digging to do. Make sure every row is good and every row is the same, but seed in the ground seems to be okay. I don't love that. We've got a double right here. It's row 3. We may still have too much vac pressure, but our depth is pretty good. This row's no good. What row are we on here? Number 12. Seed, 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 seed. We're not getting them in the ground at all. So we gotta figure out what's going on there. Any more like that? Not that bad. That's why we get out and check before we plant all the end rows and everything. That's the only one I've found so far that hasn't been at a good depth. It was right there. It's pretty good. Gotta be one close here too then. Digging backwards for me, it's harder. Got plenty of moisture. Huh. Oh, right there. Yeah, that depth is acceptable. Alright, row 12, let's go see what's going on. Didn't get set. That's what's going on. I have to take the pressure off to move that. Okay, we're gonna play a little more. I got that row fixed. Make sure everything dials in on our monitor, and then we'll probably get out and check some more in a little bit. Got something squeaking on a track somewhere. Okay, well, we got the front ends done, and we're making our way down the first pass along the side here. We had kicked the speed up a notch. See how this goes. I'm having some trouble dialing my singulation in. It's not good. I don't like it. I've turned the vac weight down. We're getting a bunch of doubles. I have a feeling it's these small flats. We're running F1 seed, and I'm wondering if I'm not just not gonna be able to do much better. So I'll keep playing with it and tweaking it. There is a double eliminator inside the meters that could be adjusted, but you gotta take every single meter apart and the bowls out in order to adjust that. It's a real pain in the butt. I do hear John Deere has some different bowls, seed bowls, some new ones that are supposed to work a lot better. I thought about buying a set, but I didn't. I probably should have. Ooh, what do I do with that spot? Ooh, probably better not drive through that one. Last thing we need to do is bury a tractor today. Well, that was no good. I got an alert that row 22 was not planting. Came out to see what was going on, thinking it wasn't getting seed, and it wasn't, because this hose popped off. I think we're missing a gasket in there. That's a problem. Shut the fan off so we can take it apart and look. Yeah, there's supposed to be a gasket right there. It's gone. I don't have one of those. If we can get that to stay on there, though, we can keep playing. I don't know if I have any tape with me. There might be some in my truck. I do have a piece of wire. We can find a way to make that work. So when I say I have a piece of wire, I mean I found a flag in the field that I picked up. You think I can fold that flag up like that and make my own gasket? We're gonna try it. Oh, it's nice and tight now. That's gonna work. Sweet. Okay. How's everything else look out here in the ground? Our in-furrow tubes hanging out right there, putting stuff where we want it. You can almost see a seed furrow, but it's not super packed in the sides. So I like that. It looks pretty good, actually. Oops. Yeah. And the sides just crumble in. I think that looks pretty good. We'll do a little more depth digging, but we're in good shape here. Right at 2 to 2 1/4. I'm pretty happy with our depth. And it looks really good. Soil's beautiful conditions here. And like I said, you can't see any real sidewall to this. We're not packing it down. Let me do a little more digging here. Let me see if I can show you some stuff. Scrape some of the loose dirt off the top. So, we've got our seed furrow right here. And I believe right here where I'm digging is where our conceals are running. On that side, and then right here. And that's leaving our 2x2 bands a starter. So we're putting here, in here, and then we're dropping some right here on top of the seed. This is nitrogen and sulfur mostly that's going to move down into the soil. And so where those roots grow out and down, it's going to intercept that band of fertilizer that's right there. I really like those conceals. Yeah, it's right there. Okay, cool. Time to plant, boys. Let's go. Breathe. Relax a little bit. We're moving. Things are good. So, yeah, everything seems to be working pretty well. My singulation is still crap, but I've tried lots of things, and short of pulling all the meters off to adjust those double eliminators, I don't know that there is much that I can do. So we're gonna go with it. Plant this variety out. I only have one box of this variety. I might have more similar seed size, but only one of this. So when the seed in the planter is gone, it's gone, and we'll see what the next variety does. Anyway, this field's a little rough. Obviously, we tiled it last fall. We worked all those tile lines down last fall, and then Dad just hit them again with the field cultivator this morning, but you can still feel all of them. We'll probably chisel these corn stalks this fall to try and get them out a little bit more. They're going to continue to settle. It is what it is. So, but yeah, we're, 25, 26 acres into the field here, moving right along. Things are going pretty well. Corn is going in the ground. It's May 7th. Everything is perfect. we're golden. Everything's great. Never mind that it's the wettest spring that we've ever had. It's better than 2019. We got some dry ground. So we'll get a bunch done here today. We'll see how things go with the rain tomorrow. But before we're done tomorrow... Oh, what is going on? Oh, I know what happened. I'm still learning with the auto path. We should have upwards of 220 acres done by noon tomorrow. Done! We're done with the first field when we end up planting. Ooh, 35.45 acres. Okay. I wonder how many acres are in this field. I thought it was 32. I was wrong. Must be the front one's 32. That's okay. We're good. We're good. Okay. Looks like we still got 500 gallons or so of 400 or 500 gallons of 2x2 fertilizer in our tank. So we're gonna go plant in the front field before we load up anything more. We don't need to carry around extra weight for no reason. So I don't think we'll get that whole field, although we might be close. We might be close. That is a big, deep ditch. It's one of those that when you're not paying attention, you end up on the not so fun farm pages for you to be on. Because you weren't paying attention, you ended up in the bottom of it. Pouring some water out of that tile, but not that one. Oh, this feels so good to have something planted. Our rows are crooked. Yeah. Not thrilled with the way the auto path worked so far. We'll see if we can dial that in and make it a little better, but the problem is any little squiggle I had with the gator when I'm mapping makes a squiggle in the outside rows, and the tractor reacts so violently to little curves in the boundary, and it shouldn't do that. That's why I wish I could just snap straight lines and not have to worry about driving the whole thing. I mean, you know, the entire time you just pause it and create straight boundaries, but I don't know. It was bad right when I started, and I was trying to watch to keep it from reacting too suddenly for a lot of it, and I got better, but we'll see. Maybe auto path boundaries isn't gonna work for me. We got a string we picked up back there. That wasn't too bad. Tile. It's for holding the rolls of tile together. Well, I haven't done all the end rows in this field, but on the first pass along the ditch, the pass along the road, and the pass along the lane, the auto path worked really well. And I do really like not having to switch between guidance lines. Like, you just line up with one and go. They're all there, so that's actually really handy. I might get to the point where we even try and use some headland control and plant our end rows last. That would be something, wouldn't it? I've never done that. It'd be great to plant your end rows last instead of first. We always plant them first because of the section control, because it shuts off when it gets into the end rows to overlap and stuff. But then you're turning on them after you've planted and driving on them some. So if I could plant a field and then plant the end rows, that would be great. And this yellow dotted line is 120 feet off of the boundary line. And so if my boundaries are accurate and my auto path works, there's a section called headland control where you can actually plant the center and it'll use that dotted line as the boundary for the section control, and then you fill it in doing your boundary passes. Yeah, that would work really cool. I have not gone out and dug to verify our section control. I know that it's at least close. I'm sure that we might need to dial it in some, but it's one of those things that I don't get as picky about as some people do. Like, if I have a 15-inch gap, so what? If I have a, one row that overlaps, so what? It's not the end of the world. Yeah, I'm still not sure what the best way to go around these building sites and stuff is, because with my auto path, it's drawn a line everywhere, so it's got auto track lines there. Yeah, I put those two passes in. It's kind of better for the sprayer to have two passes around everything. Maybe I should just perimeter the whole field twice before we start anything else, but then now we're planting with like half the planter, or a third of the planter. Whatever, it'll get done. It'll be fine. Dad and Xander are across the road over there. They did the field in the front here, which is where we're heading next. Finished that about the same time we switched fields here. And now they're working across the backfield. So that's good. They should stay ahead of us, although we are catching them, but I'm going to have to stop for seed and fertilizer at some point. We'll have to get fertilizer when we're done with this field. I think we've got enough to finish this field. We've only got 10 acres to go, something like that. And we should have enough seed to do all of the next field as well, and we'll see from there. But yeah, we're making progress. It's going well. It's going very well. So my on-site monitor is, it's kind of working. We've got our in-furrow. This is our exact rate, the in-furrow. That's the new system that we just added. And it's reading here, it says 4.8 gallons per minute. Up here it says 4.3. Well, yeah. So it's close, close enough. However, when I switch to product 1, that's supposed to be my 2x2, it's using the same sensors. It's getting me the same flow reading. And down here it says that we're getting 11 gallons to the acre. The flow gallons per minute seems to be right on that one, so I'm not sure why or how to get that set up right. Something in the setup is wrong. Made it over to the other edge of the field. We'll see how our auto path does here. We do have a little standpipe up here. We kind of jog around. Sometimes when you got those curves, the tractor's not real smooth. So far, the rest of this is good. We're right in the exact right spot, right next to the neighbor's field. I thought they might get out here today, but haven't seen anybody. I honestly haven't seen anybody else working. Not that I've driven around a lot, but I would think there'd be a few people scratching around today. All right, let's see what happens when we get up here. Kind of watching my guidance line. Sometimes you can see the squiggles coming before they get there. Sharp curve ahead. All right, we're just gonna go ahead and slow down. And I'm gonna be ready to take over if it goes crazy. It's gonna go crazy. And that's not bad. Yep, too much. So we'll just smoothly go around that. Get back on our guidance line and hit resume. Good enough. Done over here. So we're up to 65.5 acres planted between the two fields here. We got her folded up. We're gonna, what are we at for fertilizer? What does it say? It says we got 190 gallons. So we might as well top her off enough to do what we've got across the road here, or enough to do what we've got for seed. We could just fill it up again when we're doing seed, I guess, but I'll do some math. We'll figure it out. We're gonna need just shy of 900 gallons to plant that all across the road, so I think we'll just put it in there. That's what we started with here. It shouldn't be that big a deal. All right, we got the fertilizer we needed. While that was going, I was kind of looking at some other stuff here. We had one row that had a bunch of string wrapped around it, and then we had this row that I'm like, what's going on here? We got fertilizer everywhere. Well, the tube had fallen out of the holder there, and it was spraying directly onto this gauge wheel, which was splashing it all up under the row unit. So we'll have to wash that off when we get back to a hose and around to. Got a big leak here. Yeah, fix that. That hose wasn't pushed in far enough. Little things. That's why you gotta look it over. Sometimes it takes a few acres for the problems to show up. Got another one here. Okay, across the road, we're starting in on this field. This one actually used to be 2 fields, so we're going all the way over to the trees there. We used to have a lane to get back to that barn right in the middle of the field. In fact, you can still see it up here on my iPad monitor. It was between these fields. We tore that lane out last summer. This was wheat stubble, and moved the lane over to along the trees where nothing grows anyway. Seems like that'd be the right spot for the lane, right? So we now have one bigger field instead of the smaller one that was there, or you know, the 2 smaller ones, I guess. So I think I don't even know what's in here now. Let's see. Consult the sheet. 46.3 now in this one. So, and they're just about done in the backfield, and we'll get that one done as soon as we're done here. This won't take long. Like, we'll plant this in an hour. In fact, this side of the road got tiled several years ago, and it did not get done last summer, which means that there's not a bunch of tile lines that we're bouncing over, so we can crank that speed up just a little bit more. Doing my perimeter.
The count is 3 and 1.
We got my, yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. I gotta go talk to these guys. They're done back there. All right, so they're done there. Now they're gonna go kind of the last field we checked over here last night that was tiled. It was used to be the wettest field we have. It's not anymore. So they're gonna head over there. It's kind of around the corner, so we'll see how they do. But yeah, I got all of this that can get planted, and then just keep it moving.
On C remains at second.
All right,
while
so
N remains at first.
We have some baseball
Landon
commentary in
steps
the
up to the
background
plate.
here. My boys both had baseball games tonight, and while I would love to be at them, it's the first day we've been in the fields. I got to get some corn planted, right? But Ryland's team, they're using this app called Game Changer, and I can kind of follow along and see. Like, I can't watch it, but they update, balls and strikes and hits and runs and all that kind of stuff, and I can kind of follow along. So we're in the bottom of the first inning. I think it's still 2-0. Ryland's
The count
team is winning.
1-1.
It's an away game for us, so yeah, it's kind of cool to watch, or to listen to anyway. Well, we're making our way across here. We don't have a ton left to do. 2 rounds, maybe 3 rounds. Anyway, we got a couple of low seed bin warnings, which is we're supposed to be out of seed when we get done with this field. I didn't look and see if it was supposed to be a little before we get done with this field or not, but figured I better come check, make sure our tanks are relatively even. Well, we ain't going far, are we? A little more in this one. We'll level it off, put a little bit, half a bucket in the other tank, plant till it's gone. Well, we made another pass and a half before we ran out of seed. We've got about 4.5 acres left in this field, which is fine. So we fold it up. We're gonna go back over and refill with seed, and we need some in-furrow starter to finish that backfield. So we'll see how much we put on. I don't think I want to put the rest of the in-furrow on there. We'll see how much is on the thing, on the tender, but I'm trying to keep weight low. We're gonna have to come back here anyway when we're done with this other field. So no, we're not gonna add any more 2x2 starter, but we'll put enough in-furrow on to plant what we need to plant here in the seed. Put a full box of seed in. Okay, we got her emptied right out. Nothing left. This is a much bigger seed size, R3, which means a medium round, a large medium round. Gonna flow. There they come. Hopefully we can plant these a little better. I'm wondering if we ran a little short because we were getting a bunch of doubles. I couldn't get the simulation dialed in. Box number 2, a seed going in. Gonna be a good day. It is a good day. We're planting corn. I feel so much better. A little tractor therapy goes a long ways when you're depressed about not being in a tractor. Well, there. Now if we don't get done with what I'm hoping to do here tonight, well, even if we do, I can take my truck and seed tender home, and the seed tender doesn't need to come back. We're done with that. Okay. I got a water bottle I've been using to rinse my hands off. Just finishing up this field. We didn't have much left to do. We had 1 full pass, a half a pass against what we had planted on our perimeter over there, and then we've got to just fill in this partial pass where we ran out earlier. That strip. So moving on to the backfield. Perimeter in the next field here. The autopath boundaries has worked much better after that first one. I wonder if my boundary got a little screwed up with bouncing across tile lines and or being along the trees there or something. I don't know, but it was not great on that field, and this one is, all of them since then have been much better. So that's cool. It's fun. The last 2 here, I've just decided to perimeter the entire outside of the field, and I don't know, it seems to be working. The baseball games are over. Ryland's team won 5-4, scored in the top of the 6th to take the lead, and then held them. So that is good. I don't know how Ryland played, but that doesn't really matter. His team won, and Brayson's team not so good. They played a really good team, I think, and his team is quite young. They're gonna struggle this year, but it's okay. So anyway. Dad and Xander got the next 2 fields. They're smaller, 20 acres and a 6-acre piece, or a 5-acre piece, ready to go. And he just called me. He said he's going to make a pass through the next field, the last 46 acres that's over there. But he thought maybe we should wait until tomorrow to do it, which I think means I'm tired and I want to go home. It is 7:15. He's been here all day, so I don't blame him. I get it. That's fine. And that one is going to be the wettest one that's here. So if it needs to wait till tomorrow, it waits till tomorrow. It's not a big deal. Done! All right, we are up to 146.5 acres planted today. That is good. We're going to go load up all of the fertilizer that we will need for the remaining fields around the corner over there. There's like 70. Let's see, there's 46 and 20. That'd be 66 and 5, 71. So we have about 71 acres to plant yet. We can do the 20 and the 5 tonight. The 46 is not going to be ready. Dad and Xander went home for the night. So, yeah, we're going to go and do that. We'll get all the fertilizer on. We've already got all the seed we need. Plant what we can, and then we'll be back tomorrow. Oh, man, what a good first day. We should be just about right on our in-furrow fertilizer. Have just a little bit extra. Or I'm sorry, on the 2x2, the one we're filling now. On the in-furrow, we've got plenty, which I knew we did because we only needed like 1,000 gallons, and I brought almost 1,300. So we've got plenty. I don't even know if it'll all go on the planter, or if I want it all on the planter. I only need like 400 gallons to plant all of that, so not even. So whatever. We'll get all the fertilizer we need on this trip. It is not warm out here. I'm sure one of you was probably already asked in the comments what the soil temperature is. I brought my soil thermometer, so we'll stick it in the ground. I really don't care. It is May 7th. It doesn't matter what the soil temperature is. We plant because it's May 7th and the ground is dry. But we'll find out. We might not have any corn growing in this spot. We've kind of run that one down pretty good today. All right. Don't let me forget this. Stick that in there right about seed depth. Something like that. We'll come back in a minute after we switch our fertilizer. 2x2 tank is got enough. That tank is empty. We'll put a little more in-furrow in. What do we got? 57 degrees. Low solar radiation in the shade here, and it is dry. What if I stick it down farther? Now it's not dry. What does that say? More moisture? NOR, normal. Okay. We'll see if it changes the temperature much. Oh, I let it sit too long. It shut off. Still 57 degrees down deep, which is surprising. The air temperature isn't even 57 degrees today. Oh well. All right, let's go finish our last 25 acres or so here. We might even get to work under the lights a little bit. How am I gonna get back to my truck though? Walk. All right, so this field here also got tiled last summer. Most of it was really good when we looked yesterday. I was in fact warned that it is wet along the woods. So what are we gonna do? Plant along the trees while we're as heavy as possible before we get anything out of our tanks. Yeah. Well, this is the straight side of the field, so it makes the most sense to start here, but it would be nice to be a little lighter. Tractor's floating pretty good. It's that tank that concerns me, and it looks mostly wet over there. Not so bad out here, although there's a spot right there. If we're gonna get stuck, that's where it's gonna be. You know, whatever. It'll be fine. Nothing's gonna grow here anyway, but whatever. This side was on solid dirt, so we'll just sink on one side. Yeah, that's too muddy to plant. I did it anyway. Yeah, we didn't get to field cultivator in the ground here. There's a lot of wheat, and we barely scratched it, so it's fine. It's fine. This whole field doesn't look like it got dug very deep. It's gonna be another rough one too. Oh well. It's drier than it would have been without the tile, I know that. Also, we don't have any auto path lines for this field. Reason being that we couldn't do a boundary on this one. When I tried to do the boundary last fall, the tile lines and stuff along the woods, I couldn't get anywhere close to it. It just wasn't gonna work, and so I did not make auto path lines. So we're old school way of just selecting the guidance line for each side of the field, and then I've got a main line that we'll use for the normal passes. I'm probably a little too close here, but it's where my straight line was, so we're gonna go with it. Well, it's about to get dark on us. Before we lose all of our sunlight, I thought we should talk about planting season a little bit and where we're at. Obviously, I've made a big deal about how wet it's been all spring to this point, and the fact that we're getting a late start and stuff. However, today's May 7th. It's not horribly late, right? Like, the goal normally is to get our corn planted by May 10th. If we can be done by May 10th, we had a good year, and we're early. That rarely happens that we're done by May 10th, but that is the goal. I also would really, really like to get a lot of beans planted in April. The earlier we can get our beans planted, the better. And we haven't had that opportunity this year. But traditionally and historically speaking, May 10th is kind of the cutoff date. There's a general rule of thumb that you lose a bushel of yield potential per day that you plant after May 10th. Is that a hard and fast rule? No, absolutely not. And we aren't really missing out on any heat units right now. It's cold. We haven't had any warm days to speak of, at least recently, that our corn would be growing. So even if we would have planted a week ago, that corn would be sitting there growing very, very slowly. What we are losing is sunlight, and we can't get that back, right? So the days are longest in June, and we need our crops to be as big as possible to capture as much of that sunlight in June as we can possibly get. We are in all intents and purposes here raising solar panels that need sunlight. We get a lot less sunlight in September than we do in June, which is why we try and get stuff planted early. So, we do what we can. It's not like we've missed any opportunities. We just haven't had any opportunities, and it's been a little frustrating. But in the grand scheme of things, if we can get a decent stretch here, we're sitting in pretty good shape. I'm not upset with stuff. So Phil did look around today to see if there was anywhere we could plant beans. He didn't find anywhere. Maybe tomorrow we'll go look again. I'm hoping we've got a couple more farms on the way back to the home farm that we can hit with for corn tomorrow that we looked at yesterday, and we're close, but these were a little bit better. Well, it had another day to dry. We had a lot of sunshine today, even though we didn't have heat. We had some wind, so that ground is drying out. It's getting closer. Doesn't look like we're going to catch any rain tonight. There's a slight chance still. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. And then we'll see what happens tomorrow night. But if we miss that, then we get all day Saturday. And with 2 more days, I mean, we could have 500 acres of corn in the ground before Sunday. Feeling pretty good about it. We are over 10% of our corn planted already, and it's day 1. So we're doing okay here. A big old hole there. So when we tiled this last summer, there's an old main that we're in kind of along this side that we just completely abandoned and cut through it a few times, and it's sucking some dirt in now. So we'll get those holes filled in. It's not the end of the world. Anyway, time to hit the lights here. Nope, not that light, that light. Alright. We got that 20 acres done, and we have moved into the little 5-acre field here. See the little field on the map there? Getting our planter unfolded. I'm plugged in, I can't turn it, sorry. Phone's gonna die. Alright, I think we've got autopath for this one, so let's see if I can get all that set up right. Pass here may be dangerous too, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Nope, bail out, get on the high ground. Just hang a wing over as far as you can. Yeah, it was wetter than I thought it was going to be. It's a muck pocket there, which it can be deceiving. Sometimes it does hang wet, sometimes it just looks dark because the dirt is very black. It's actually wet that time. Okay, well, we got the outside of this field done. It's funny that when you have little fields and you have a 24-hole planter, it doesn't take much to fill in the middles. So, on a side note, I think I finally figured this on-site thing out. It's been working all day. It just was reading the wrong numbers. And so I went in and changed some calibration numbers and made these gallons per acre match what my actual flow meters are showing me. So this one here is telling me we're putting 11 gallons to the acre on. Well, now that's telling me we're putting basically 11 gallons to the acre on. And then the same thing here is telling me we're putting 5 on, and the other one says we're putting 5 on. So I'm really not relying on that for telling me how much we're putting on. I'm relying on that to tell me if every row is the same, if they're even. It's more of a red ball replacement than a flow monitor and trying to make sure that, you know, we're controlling anything. It's just to make sure that their application is even, that we don't have a road plugged up or anything like that. So it's nice to have it close where it's not throwing alarms at me like it has been most of the day, but I really don't care if it's super accurate. Last little pass of this field. Good deal. What did we do? 172 acres today. That's a pretty good day. We'll take that. Dad left the tractor in that field right there. We got another bridge, jumps over to there. This field, that's all we got left. 46 acres. That billboard that we checked stuff by is up in this corner here. The other day we were up there, so he did make a pass through the middle. It didn't look terrible, but like I said, I think Dad was tired and just wanted to go home. So we're gonna call it good enough. Shut this down here. I'm gonna walk up to my truck, which is clear up there by that light in that building site. Probably easily a half mile, 3/4 mile walk over there. It's okay. I'd rather walk it than drive the tractor and have to turn around through the field and all that again. So we'll need it over here. Yeah, that's fine. 172 acres today, and like I said, that's over 10% of the corn that we're planting. Pretty good portion, over 10%. So if we can just have some days like today, there's another rule of thumb, right? There's a lot of rule of thumbs in farming, but you want to be able to plant all your crops in a 10-day window. So you got to do 10% a day. Well, we did more than that. Theoretically, I could plant all of our corn in 6 or 7 if we had all huge days, not doing it like today. But we could do it in the 8 days if all goes well. So, all right, guys, I think we'll wrap it here. I'm going to walk up to my truck. I'm going to take the seed tender back to the farm, and then I'm going home. We'll be back at it tomorrow. We might get a little later start planting again because they got to work this field. I should let it air out and dry off a little bit after they do that. Might be an opportunity to finish drone spraying that field that we were in, so we might do that first thing in the morning. We'll see how my concrete looks. I got all that done today, and we might go look at some more fields and see where the plan is to go next. So thanks for watching this one. I'm sure this video is like an hour and a half long at this point, but that's okay. Have a great night. We'll see you guys in the morning.